Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabansu, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things. We see them in today. We have a pretty interesting show for you guys, but before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel for the people coming back wondering, hey, what happened to the studio? Yeah, we're currently in the UK, so just a temporary setup. We should be back to our normal studio in a few months, just spending some time with the family during the holiday seasons. Anyway, let me get into this show. As you guys know, I've been one of the people that's been pretty upset about this James Harden trade. I've been one of the people asking the question, why did the Clippers even decide to pull off this trade in the first place? It made no sense to me when the idea was initially being floated. And ever since the trade has gone down, the Clippers have not won a single game. As a matter of fact, the Clippers have lost 5 games in a row. 6 games in a row, and 5 in a row with James Harden. It's not working. And various people out there in the sports media world are asking questions as to why this thing is even working. I was one of the first people, at least that I'm aware of, that said that the only way that I believe this thing can be salvaged is that they need to find a way to bring James Harden off the bench. That you cannot, let me repeat, you cannot play Russell Westbrook and James Harden on the floor together, because both of these guys are both ball dominant. So I didn't see the sense in Ty Lue trying to create this forced chemistry on the court. So what happened? This morning I woke up and I came across a segment from one of the channel's friends, and one of my new friends, Marcellus Wiley. And for maybe some of you guys who don't know, we're planning to bring Marcellus Wiley on again one more time before the holidays. So that's something that we're working on. The last one was the last time we brought him on the show was received very well. So we're looking to do that again. Anyway. So I was listening to him, and if you know anything about Marcellus Wiley, although he's a California native, you also know that he is a Clippers supporter, right? And we sometimes kind of go back and forth trying to figure out what the hell is going on with this team. So I came across a segment this morning of him from his show, the Marcellus Wiley Show, where he was discussing the idea of James Harden coming off the bench as he was reacting to a Stephen A. Smith clip. But then as he was talking, he revealed that he actually met or ran into or had an encounter with an NBA executive. And this executive was basically, revealing to him the reasons why he believes that this thing will absolutely not work. But before we even get into Marcellus Wiley's, comments, this video is brought to you by our sponsor, Factor Meals. If you're like me or anybody that works at Dreamers Pro, chances are you're a very, very busy person, especially during the lunchtime when you don't have time to go to the grocery store, pick out fresh ingredients, and come back home and cook healthy, delicious meals. Sometimes we're so busy that you just end up finding yourself making a ham sandwich or something like that, which isn't really ideal. And this is the reason why we are excited to be partnering with Factor Meals. Factor Meals is America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit. You can choose from up to 35 gourmet meals. Every meal is packed with premium ingredients, crafted by Factor Meals' team of culinary experts and designed by dietitians to ensure that every meal is packed with premium science-backed nutritional quality. Your meals are delivered directly to your door, and all you need to do is heat them up in just under 2 minutes. Then they are ready for you to eat and enjoy. So for example, this week, I think I'm gonna go with the Italian herb chicken. What I love is that under every single meal, you can see if it's a calorie conscious option. For example, this meal I just chose is the dietitian approved calorie smart meal, which is around 550 calories or less per serving, and also a protein plus meal with 30 grams of protein or more per serving. So if you want to give it a try, click the link in the description below or head over to factormeals.com/dreamers50 and use code dreamers50 to get 50% off. And remember, when you try Factor Meals by using the link in the description below, remember that you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So what we want to do is play exactly what Marcellus Wiley had to say about his conversation with this NBA executive, and then we're going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to what Marcellus had to say here.
I told you I saw an NBA executive. Damn, I wish I could say his name, but I don't want no smoke. But he for real. We were talking about James Harden. He said, that was stupid. Everything's out of whack. Westbrook was playing hard, playing well, got his confidence back, but he needs the ball. Now you can't have that. Paul George, trust him, but now the turnovers, he's out of place a little bit. But Paul George a beast. Kawhi beast, we know it all day, always. But Kawhi, for the level of superstar he is, will allow you enough rope to hang yourself with. And if you think about other superstars of his ilk, they don't give you that much rope. They don't give a damn how good you are. Look, to the point where Kobe and Shaq broke the rope. Like I ain't giving you nothing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just go through all the dynamic. One of us is going to be the alpha. That means you, I know you're an alpha everywhere else, but right here, you're a beta, right? They just make it clear. Like in the jungle, like in the wild, right? You just see it. It is make it real clear who running this show. And Kawhi will allow somebody to try and figure it out. Now, I respect his basketball IQ, and on some levels that is necessary. Let's figure this out as we let you figure you out with us. James Harden, you got to play yourself into shape. James Harden, you got to see how you integrate with us. Ty Lue's already come out on record saying, I'm trying to give every guy their own unit. I don't like how that sounds. I don't like how that plays because that's not maximizing the talent we have. If everybody gets a slice of it, I'm like, where's the whole loaf? Like, if you got James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Kawhi, and PG, you trying to tell me not all four of those can't work together at some stretch of the time of the game? They can't play together? Do you know how much you would get in production if you could effectively and efficiently make those four pieces integrate? That's the problem.
So you heard what Marcellus Wiley had to say, that this executive was even questioning why the Clippers went ahead and made this decision. Listen, I think that it was clear to everyone that this thing would have some issues, this particular trade, but the only person or the only people it wasn't clear to were the people within the organization. I don't want to believe that all of the decision makers within the Clippers organization were okay with this. I don't want to believe that, because the Clippers were the same team that went out there and picked up Russell Westbrook, a player that was deemed to be, damaged goods. He wasn't going to be good anymore after his stint with the Los Angeles Lakers, and he really seemed to be a significant boost to what the Clippers were doing. They were the same team that went out there and brought Russell Westbrook into the fold. So to me, it is baffling that this is the same team that then went ahead to bring on James Harden. And I think that we need to try to get to the bottom of who made this recommendation. Was it the players making the recommendation? Was it the executives and the players, or was it just the executives? We need to figure this out, because when you have such a situation that is deteriorating so fast, there needs to be responsibility for making such a bad decision. In the case of the Lakers, when they went out there and got Russell Westbrook and they saw that it wasn't working, people were trying to hold the coach accountable, which they did in Frank Vogel. They tried to hold Russell Westbrook accountable, and they were trying to hold various executives, maybe like Rob Pelinka. In the case of the Clippers, they've just been able to escape through, and by they, I'm talking about the decision makers, who thought that this would be a good idea. To me, I just don't. What I want to know is, what did they see that we didn't see? If you follow some of the interviews, the post-game interviews, pre-game interviews of Ty Lue, you can see that Ty Lue really seems to be under some serious pressure. You even have him out there cursing now at various interviews. It's not an easy situation. And to me, I don't know why the Clippers would then put themselves in a situation where they now have to struggle to find their chemistry on offense. I don't understand why they did that. I was recently listening to a report from Brian Windhorst from ESPN, where he said at one point, in the first 5 games of the season, the Clippers had the most effective, three-man lineup of Russell Westbrook, Kawhi Leonard, and Paul George. Was that data not available to them? Why would you go and mess that up and bring in such a huge variable in James Harden? For me, the reason why I'm upset at this trade is, number one, I feel like the Clippers didn't need it. Number one. Number two, by bringing in James Harden, they gave away a lot of their defense and their versatility by giving up Nicholas Batum, by giving up Robert Covington. These are both 3-and-D guys that could play various positions, especially that 4 spot. So by now going to the small ball lineup, you're forcing players like Paul George and Kawhi Leonard to play bigger players like Nikola Jokic. And you now have this scenario in which Ty Lue now has to juggle the major personalities where it's, when it comes down to closing moments in the game, you're like, okay, do I bring out Russell Westbrook? Do I bring out James? These are not just regular role players. You're talking about Hall of Fame caliber players. So it's not the same thing as benching an Ivica Zubac or benching a Nicholas Batum. You're benching a Russell Westbrook, there's going to be storylines. You're benching a James Harden, there's going to be storylines. And even if they do decide to bring James Harden off the bench, is James Harden going to be okay not closing out? So to me, this is a problem that the Clippers could have just avoided altogether. They could have avoided it. But for whatever reason, they thought it would be a great idea to bring in James Harden. And now they're trying to turn James Harden into a spot-up catch and shoot guy. When we all know James Harden, for him to be effective, he needs to have the ball in his hand. And now you're trying to turn him into a spot-up shooter. Why would you do this? You couldn't get other serviceable players out there to perform that exact same role with less drama? You already had that in Robert Covington and Nicholas Batum. So why give that up? To me, I think the entire thing is a mess, and I think the Clippers need to make a change. Ultimately, what I think will happen is in the next game, you can expect James Harden to start. You can expect it. Because the Clippers don't want to throw in the towel on this trade that they already know is bad. You can expect them to start. The frustration will continue. And to me, my biggest fear is if that they start winning 1 or 2 games, there's going to be some false hope. That's my issue. I do not support this trade whatsoever. I don't even think Marcellus Wiley does. Even he seems to be baffled by this entire decision. So what I want to know from you guys, what do you think about what this NBA executive had to say? What do you think about what Marcellus Wiley had to say? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We catch you guys on the next show. Peace.